Welcome to Brattleboro's Town Matters podcast. This podcast is a brief update on what is happening in Brattleboro town government. I'm your host, Town Manager John Potter, broadcasting from the BCTV studios in Brattleboro, Vermont. Today, we're going to look back at what happened at the January 7th Brattleboro Select Board meeting, and then we'll do a review of the agenda for the upcoming meeting on Tuesday, January 21st. The board met on January 7th, and this is what happened. On the consent agenda, there was only one item, and that was to ratify the 2024 holiday season free parking. That was approved by a motion that passed 5-0. Next, under old business, Planning Director Sue Fillion joined the meeting and discussed the second reading of Chapter 15 Downtown Improvement District ordinance changes. After lengthy discussion, the board asked to see language added to the draft ordinance on polling the property owners in the downtown district outside of the Downtown Brattleboro Alliance's own bylaws as a regularly scheduled item in the ordinance. So staff are working to put that together and bring it back to the board at their next meeting. Following that was a discussion on the fiscal year 26 budget development. And this conversation was to review the impact of reductions and revenue increases that had been discussed at the Select Board's December 17th meeting. A revised budget was presented that has an estimated total expenditure for fiscal year 26 of $25,184,081. This is a cost for services of $2,080 per capita, which is running 8 to 10% lower than neighboring communities. It will provide over 240 essential and quality of life municipal services that people value, including a 56-hour per week library, many excellent recreation and park services, a top-notch town clerk's office, 20 or more state-leading planning services, town-wide composting, trash and recycling collection and disposal, maintenance of over 90 miles of roads and 35 miles of sidewalks, a 24/7 all-hazards fire and emergency response service, including fast responding medical transport, and a premier police department. Board members noted at the meeting that the budget has been reduced by $2 million, taking it down to a 12% increase on the property tax rate, but that this would preserve services, the solid waste service, and also the Downtown Safety Action Plan. There was discussion at the meeting about how Brattleboro is a hub town, that it really needs more revenue from the state. A member of the Finance Committee asked about staff cuts. There was discussion about the homestead rebate and its impact on taxpayers. The board talked about pay-as-you-throw as a revenue source around solid waste. They discussed the human services funding and EMS revenues. At the conclusion of the conversation, the board asked to proceed with this revised budget to bring it back for final consideration at the January 21st meeting. The only other item at the January 7th meeting was committee appointments, and the board unanimously approved a slate of applicants, including Kulsoon Khan, who was appointed to the ADA Advisory Board, Emma Gregg, who was appointed to the Conservation Commission, and Keen Southard, who was appointed to the Energy Committee. Thanks to all three of those volunteers for serving on town committees. The next Select Board meeting is a regular meeting scheduled for Tuesday, January 21st at 6:15 p.m. in the Select Board meeting room at 230 Main Street and on Zoom. This is what will be on the agenda. There are 4 items on the board's consent agenda. They include 4 special event permits for the Brattleboro Love Crawl, a renewal with updated hours of the annual entertainment license for the Retreat Farm, a parade permit for a women's march on January 18th. That will be a ratification because the event will have already occurred on January 21st. And finally, on the consent agenda is a change order, I believe the final change order for the Pleasant Valley Water Treatment Facility project. After the board considers their consent agenda, they will do a third reading of the Downtown Improvement District ordinance changes with the adjustment that was discussed at their January 7th meeting. Following that, the board will consider approval of the FY26 Select Board General Fund budget. And the third and final item for discussion at the January 21st Select Board meeting are draft warnings for the annual town meeting and for the representative town meeting. So if you're interested on what will be on the ballot or on the agenda at the RTM, please tune in. I have a few announcements. The Brattleboro Assessor's Office is now accepting business license renewals for 2025. Business licenses must be renewed each year by March 15th. The cost of renewal is $50. After April 15th, the cost increases to $175, so get those in soon. Business owners can renew their license in person or online at brattleboro.gov/assessors. 2025 dog license renewals are also available at the town's website and in person at the town clerk's office. The Charter Revision Commission wants to hear from you. Join them for a discussion on the form of Brattleboro's annual town meeting on Thursday, February 6th at Brooks Memorial Library. The event will take place from 6 to 8 p.m. and will be broadcast live on BCTV channel 1079 and on BCTV's Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website. For more information about this event, visit brattleboro.gov. And finally, a reminder that petitions for Brattleboro town officers, Wyndham Southeast School District board members, and representative town meeting members are now available at the town clerk's office. Visit brattleboro.gov for details about signature requirements and deadlines for getting those petitions into the town clerk. So there is your update on what has been happening in town government in Brattleboro. Please reach out to me at the town manager's office if you have any suggestions or want to discuss anything further. There is lots of additional information on the website, brattleboro.gov, about what is discussed at the select board meetings. So please check in there for agendas, reports, and backup materials. Appreciate all the listeners and tune in again soon.